Hmm. So did we eject Theodora into space? Because that's what it looked like, but I would have expected, you know, the heads of the dynasty to be interred somewhere on the ship. Like a holy resting place. I mean, I could see ejecting all of the various crew members, but holding onto the bodies of the heads of the dynasty feels like a... Potentially even all the members of the dynasty feels like a thing that they would do. But I guess not. Lord Captain, allow me to report. Our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Orsilio informs me that we have reached the point where we can translate to real space in the Furibundus system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are awaiting your permission to begin the process. The Furibundus system is home to Footfall, the only Imperium outpost with a functioning wharf in the Koronus Expanse. The tech priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp and allow the servants of the Omnisci to inspect and heal the voidship's wounds in the dock. The prayers and rituals will take some time, which our astropathic choir will use to establish a connection to the prime worlds of your protectorate, Dargonus, Janus, and Kiaba Gamma. Master Zachary Wise has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Imperium. The Liege of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rogue trader of the Von Valencius dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was tinted with shades of pleading. I quote, "Apparently, the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible." Footfall, the place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand. Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from me. I imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well, Ignatius. I will be leaving your void ship when we arrive on Footfall, Ignatius. Once that is done, consider the Lord Inquisitor's task complete. Is he actually going to leave our crew at that point? It's hard for me to imagine that we brought him in just for him to be with us for, you know, that tiny bit on the planet, and then he bails on us. Surely he's going to be around for longer. So maybe he'll just be retasked to us. I don't know. Your lordship, young Yvain Winterscale has asked me to convey his gratitude for your hospitality and for saving him from certain death. Not wishing to outstay his welcome, he plans to disembark at Footfall. Lord Yvain swears he will not forget his debt to you. Wish we could have found him on ship, because he should be here, and would have been nice to talk to him, since he is hopefully recovering slightly. I hereby inform the rogue trader that during a comprehensive system inspection rite, this unit discovered data clusters within the captain's cogitator that are concealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher and a sacrament of algorithmic authorization. And Unit Ignatius von Valencius has been added to the access list and assigned the identifier Keeper 2. The unit can access the data from a captain's cogitator, provided that he possesses the decryption key. You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in Pascal's mechanical voice. Okay, there's a lot to go over. I'm sure we can go over most of this. Are you leaving us, Heinrichs? The arrangement between the Lord Inquisitor and your predecessor was that I be transported to Footfall and no further. I dare not take advantage of your generosity and patience any more than I already have, Ignatius. Then I hope we meet again. True servants of the Emperor are always welcome aboard my ship. You are a skilled fighter, and I could use people like you. What do you say to extend your stay in my retinue? Finally, my benevolence and patience were both about to run out, or so be it. Then I hope we meet again. True servants of the Emperor are always welcome aboard my ship. Heinrich regards you with a curious look and a polite smile. An interrogator of the Inquisition seldom gets to hear such words. Thank you for your hospitality, Ignatius. I will not forget it. Argenta, who is this Reverend Hieronymus who wants to talk to me? He is the head of the Drusian mission on Footfall and one of the most prominent clergymen in the sector. Paying him a visit is a good thing for any loyal servant of the Emperor to do. I assisted in his mission before I joined Lady Theodora on her voyage. I need his blessing to accompany the new rogue trader of the Von Valencius dynasty. If you wish to have me aboard your void ship, I request that we meet with Reverend Hieronymus. The shed blood has washed away the taint from our bodies. It is only right that we now wash our souls with the blessings of the servants of the Undying One. The Drusians, like the blood-spun web, are devoted to asceticism, rejecting wealth and luxury and surrendering themselves to his service Though their threat is different from ours, the first spinner spoke of them with respect. Let's see. Vigis, tell me about the system we are arriving in. Her abundance is valuable due to its close proximity to the Maw, the gateway to the Imperium. The system is mostly known for Footfall, the main base of merchants, privateers, and rogue traders traversing the Koronus Expanse. Additionally, the star itself is orbited by an Adeptus Mechanicus station, which is off-limits to outsiders. Alter Templum Calixus X17. I had the honor of tending to this shrine for a few thousand cycles. I suggest you abstain from visiting it, as most tech comrades at the station are engaged in meditative calculations that should not be interrupted. What do I need to know about Footfall? It is the largest port and the trading capital of the Koronus Expanse. It has a dockyard that will allow us to inspect and repair the voidship, and it boasts its own astropathic choir, the Koronus Expanse communication nexus. Not to mention private hideouts, smugglers' cache, and forts belonging to a dozen gangs, groups, and factions. In the Koronus Expanse, the Imperium relies on this as its outpost. The fringes of humanity's domain rarely resemble its central worlds, but so long as Footfall serves the God Emperor, insofar as it can, it will be considered a citadel of the Imperium, although I've heard that the tithes it sends are underwhelming, to say the least. Due to Footfall's remoteness, it has developed its own rules and customs. Many of the goods that can be procured there would be considered heresy in the heart of the Imperium, enough to warrant summary execution. Moreover, Footfall is the domain of the rogue traders, who transcend certain Imperial laws by virtue of the warrant they bear. Footfall is just a brief stop. What's next? As soon as we solve the issues plaguing the ship and establish contact with the key worlds of your protectorate, the time will come for your Magnae Accessio, the official ceremony of donning the mantle of rogue trader. It is mostly a formality at this point. You already possess all the privileges granted by the warrant, and yet it is a major milestone in your personal history the moment your name graces the list of heads on the Von Valentius dynasty. We are all looking forward to that day, Lord Captain. Abelard, do you know anything about the Liege of Footfall? Vladim Tokar is a very peculiar young man. Consider your upcoming conversation a baptism of fire in Footfall's political arena. Such things are not spoken out loud, but Liege Tokara is the appointee of the Casabalica mission, Footfall chapter of one of the most successful crime syndicates of the Imperium. Okay. Appointee of the crime syndicate, the largest robber baron crime syndicate in the Calixtus sector. They specialize in the cold trade, the buying and selling of all kinds of xenos rubbish. Illegal trade of commodities and artifacts of xenos origin. Okay. Sure. Cold trade. Sure. Footfall was previously run by a liege who did business with several criminal factions at once, but he suffered an accident. The reins of power were picked up by Vladim Tokara, whose appointment benefits not only the Casabalica, but also their most powerful ally in the Koronus Expanse, the rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. Vladim is a slippery yet very cautious fellow. He does not usually beat around the bush and does not play mind games. Perhaps more importantly, he is no fool. Fools do not rise this high in the Casabalican hierarchy. Keep all this in mind. You are a rogue trader. You stand above him in status and wield considerable power. Having said that, history has seen cases where the Casabalican barons cross swords with rogue traders and emerge victorious. Do not forget that and remain vigilant. The Casabalica, vile tech thieves. Pascal's Vox barks out the last word with profanity, like a profanity. I can talk. Why does this liege wish to see me so badly? Not you personally, wishes to meet with the rogue trader on the Von Valentius dynasty. Tokar does not know about Lady Theodore's death and is simply seeking an audience with the powers that be. My gut is telling me that something must be very wrong in Footfall if our astropath managed to read such a strong emotion in such an anodyne message. We have no information, Lord Captain. The broadcast from the Footfall Astropathic Choir was the only missive Master Zachary has received lately. Tell the Lady Navigator I give her leave to make the translation from the warp into real space. Vigis begins issuing instructions. The massive ship appears to change with her every word. The bridge is set in motion as hundreds of people start to prepare for the shift to real space, and the measured chanting fills the corridors to safeguard the vessels and its crew. Vidges turns to you again. Oh, one more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Lady Theodora's demise, and you inheriting the title. Liege Tokar will be informed. It is required so we use the dock. And besides, he is expecting a personal audience with the rogue trader. He will not meet with an unknown person of unclear standing. However, there is still the matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive on the station with the proper pomp and ceremony, or choose to visit incognito. Interesting. I do like that choice. Tell me in detail how these choices will benefit me. According to Footfall's unwritten laws, rogue traders enjoy special privileges that exceed even the power of the liege. However, they may choose not to exercise those privileges in certain situations. Arriving incognito will give you more room to maneuver, while an official visit will allow you to directly intervene in local affairs. I shall explain if you do not mind. As per this unwritten rule, every rogue trader arriving at the station has the right to veto any of the Liege's decisions. But there's a catch. The Koronus Expanse is home to several influential rogue trader dynasties, and Footfall is where their interests intersect. Of course, that does not prevent certain persons, namely Caligos Winterscale, from subtly pulling the strings on Footfall. If you, as a new rogue trader, start your career with an official landing and parade in your honor, the other dynasties may see this gesture as the newcomer challenging their spheres of influence. I do not see that as a bad thing necessarily. Old Man Winterscale may take slight offense, Corda will be put on her guard, but you have just risen to prominence, and most people in the Koronus Expanse have not even heard about Lady Theodora's departure yet. It must be made clear that the banner of Von Valencius soars as high as ever. If I may, I would recommend arriving incognito. You will have plenty of opportunities to savor the sweetness and the burden of power, but right now is the last time you will take refuge in obscurity. This way your arrival will not draw much attention, and the people will treat you as a person, and not the almighty sovereign anointed by the Emperor. It could turn some situations to your advantage. Yeah, I think at the moment, arriving incognito sounds better. I have decided tell the Liege I will arrive incognito. It will be done, Lord Captain. Vidges bows again. With your gracious permission, I will return to my duties. So I guess we are ready to go to Footfall. Let's do a quick loop around the bridge, see if anyone has anything new to say, since a lot has happened. Probably not, though. Lord Captain, the ships inform me of our imminent meeting. Have the Vox Bears brought you anything interesting lately? You may be interested to know that a group of officers was discussing a grim rumor over lunch. Word has it that the apparition of Lord Captain Theodora has been sighted on board lately. Yes, you heard right. They say she is haunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. Disquiet has spread throughout the ship, as the anomaly has been reported in different sections, sometimes entire kilometers apart. The Voxmaster leans closer to you. Master Heinrich van Kallax expressed interest in our communication stations and Voxnets a short while ago. The interrogator appeared to be very well versed in the matters of sacred technology, and it worries me. A man of his knowledge, and in his line of work, is capable of discreetly planting his own devices in our systems. We will be vigilant, Lord Captain, but you should try to be more careful as well. Interesting. So she suspects that he is planting bugs in our system so that he can watch us. Why? That will be all. I live to serve, Lord Captain. Anything you have to say, Doctor? Your Lordship? Nope. Master Helmsman? Nothing new. Ooh, certainly won't have anything to say. Your Lordship. Cassia? Ignatius. Cassia offers you...
I cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Cassia offers you a reserved smile and waves at you in greeting. Well, I apparently have no stimulating conversation to have with you. This is where I must beg my leave.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Wasn't much of a conversation, but you are welcome. Heinrich. Lord Captain himself, to what do I owe the honor? No one over there. Heinrichs, why are you planting bugs in my ship?
To what do I owe this visit?
Can't even ask him. I want you to leave my retinue in my ship. No. I must take my leave. Abelard.
Lord Captain.
Abelard greets you with customary courtesy, but makes sure to scan you from head to toe with a scrutinizing gaze. Until next time.
Lord Captain.
I can turn on this machine. Interesting. The reflections of the bridge lights are playing on the unlit vid screens of the cogitator. Next to the machine stands a hunched tech priest who bows as you approach, his body nearly folding in half. Lord Captain, the machine spirits of this mechanism slumbers. Should you wish to awaken it, use the key of your blood. Who are you and what is your purpose here? My designation is IH-630. The tech priest points his only mechadendrite at the machine beside him. The venerated Engineer Prime has entrusted this sacred mechanism into my care. It is now my duty to assist the rogue trader's understanding of the hallowed code. What is this blood key I'm supposed to use? The key you seek is the dynastic blood that runs in your veins. It is the only way to rouse the cogitator's machine spirit. When you are ready to do so, place your hand into the mouth of the guardian servitor on this blessed control panel. Guess let's do so. I'm sure I've gotten some blood back in our travel. The servitor's powerful jaw closes around your hand. With a screeching clack, you feel the cold metal pierce your skin and draw blood. The vid screen in front of you flickers restlessly, filling with numerical combinations. The tech priest by the cogitator nods curtly. The sacred mechanism is awake and ready to receive your request, Lord Captain. Pascal has informed me that the system has sacred encrypted data stored inside. I wish to know its contents. Without another word, the tech priest turns to the cogitator. He raises his hands, and a prayer of binaric code pours out of his Vox device. The servo motors in the bowels of the machine grow louder, its undulating hum responding to his chant. Numerical combinations run down the screens. Scanning, scanning. Da-da-da-da. Nothing of that means anything to me. The machine spirit has discovered numerous critical errors. The data is damaged. The tech priest stops abruptly, and the green glow of his visor narrows, registering an intact segment. The machine spirit has spoken. The words of Kiava Gamma and Dargonus hold certain data repositories. The mechanism is ready to provide the rogue trader with the data keys that can unlock said repositories. What data repositories? That remains hidden. The encrypted databanks belong to the esteemed Theodore von Valencius. She was the only one who could have known of these repositories. Perhaps the former Engineer Prime also could have known. Omnissiah accepts his code. If I were to propose a hypothesis, it would be most prudent of a figure as eminent as a rogue trader to store her classified data in receptacles most secure. How do I accept these keys? The cogitator's vid screen blinks. Input. NOM-OS. Request response. Dat transfer. Act init 0987514882. The gracious machine spirit is willing to transfer the data keys to the head of House von Valencius by means of an Elect 2, a hypodermic tattoo augment. If you are ready to accept the keys, place your hand inside the servitor's mouth. I mean, it's already there. Deep within the servitor's dark gullet, unseen, burning hot needles pierce your wrist, but the sharp pain only lasts a moment. The Elect 2 that has been planted inside your wrist should be enough to open the repository doors. I need to know more about the caches. More code. Screen flickers rapidly. The tech priest's augmented fingers dart around the control panel. The Omnissiah favors you. The machine spirit is willing to commence the calculation procedure that could restore the lost data. Restore the data on the cache located on Dargonus. I'm interested in the cache. Either one is a tech use 30, which means because Pascal is aiding us, we have over 100% chance to succeed. So tell me about the cache located on Dargonus. The machine hums louder until it lets out a resounding crackle. Then the sounds stop, and the unmoving numerical combination lights up on the screen. The tech pre-synthesized voice sounds almost concerned. The data has been restored, but it is only a single phrase. Litanies of the motive force. That is all the sacred mechanism was able to salvage. I'm also interested in the cache on Kiaba Gamma. The servo motors within the cogitator pick up their pace, their heavy thrum growing louder. The machine clacks abrasively for several minutes, until eventually a numerical code appears on the screen. The tech priest turns to you. Blessed are the omniscience deeds. The repository on Kiaba Gamma has a security system guarding it. The machine spirit has recovered a code that will allow you to disable the defenses. I have other questions. The tech priest bows. Have the tech priest of the Adeptus Mechanicus been able to discern how the ship was able to start her warp engine? The Engineer Prime spends hours pursuing the quest for knowledge in hopes of comprehending the nature of said miracle. May the Omniscience grace guide him on this journey. Alright. Well, cool. Whenever we get to those planets, we've got additional loot that we can pick up, it sounds like. Sourback, anything new with you? No, there's not. Proud to serve the dynasty. What about you, Janrus? I don't think we need to replace the painting yet. Probably after we've done the official ceremony to become head, maybe then I'll replace the painting. Let's see, anyone here of note? No. Adira. When Adira sees you, her lips curve into a smile and she nods at something over your shoulder. I've learned that there are caches left by Theodora somewhere on Dargonus and Kiaba Gamma. Do you know anything about this?
Me? Not a clue, Lord Captain. I don't know who Lady Theodora would have told about a thing like that, but it definitely wasn't me. Why would you whisper that to me now? Why?
Adira snorts, suppressing a laugh. And then she breaks off, appearing to listen to something. Grief passes over her face like a shadow.
Lord Captain, I don't know anything about caches or Lady Theodora's secrets, but the voices have just reminded me about something. I was once given the chance to try some real wine. Lady Theodora gave me some. Not just any old synthetic booze, but her favorite plonk. She always drank it in her palace. It was golden in color, and its name was Flame of Purity. A silly name, but the flavor was so intense, and like nothing I'd ever tasted before or since. Apologies. It's probably not important, but I don't know anything more than that.
Adira speaks quietly, her voice trembling, and then sniffing sadly, Adira shakes her head. So are you trying to tell me that one of the caches, or possibly both of them, is just a cache of her favorite alcohol? Alright, I must take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service, whenever you need me.
Okay. Isabella. Hi.
Domin.
Nothing more to say to you.
May the Undying One shroud your footsteps from the faithless.
Of course. Can you stop stabbing yourself? You are dropping blood everywhere. Anyone down on this side? I don't recall. That looks like a no. Pascal, do you know anything further about the miracle or these caches?
The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
I want to know the truth about you? It's an odd starting statement.
The request is approved. I did conceal certain information. I was a student of Archmagus Amanat, but I committed an act of betrayal after he deviated from sacred dogma.
The mechanandrites coil around the tech priest's chest and shoulders as if trying to protect him. What did Amarnat do?
He fell into schism blessed Amanat claimed the limits of what is permitted must be expanded, because by refusing to explore certain law, we find ourselves in contempt of the seventh universal law. Comprehension is the key to all things. My mentor put forth a thesis claiming that we have stagnated, that ritual is now nothing but a cage for souls and false worship of the Omnissiah. He sought to break the cycle of mindless repetition because he saw the inevitable demise of our faith and all humanity at the end of it.
So, yeah, where the tech priests are locked into doing everything by rituals and constantly seeking out information about ancient technologies, but they're not trying new things or working to progress. And so Amarnat saw that as an issue, but it goes against the faith of the Omnissiah. I can see that. Certain aspects of the Imperium have indeed ossified. His argument sounds reasonable. This Amarnat of yours is a dyed-in-the-wool heretic. Seems like a theological argument, not a political one. Fascinating. His argument does seem reasonable. And yes, that does seem like a theological argument. Pascal might take that negatively, since he apparently turned on his mentor for having that belief. Us saying it sounds reasonable probably won't make him think higher of us. Seems like a theological argument, not a political one.
Even those who have ascended to the Omnissiah's wisdom still bear the seed of imperfection, born of their flesh. But the ambitions of individuals mean little when we discuss ritual and belief. Knowledge is divine, and any argument as to how it must be reached is an argument of ritual and belief.
How did you betray Amarnat?
The teachings of the blessed Amarnat spread, and word of it reached the conclave of the Cognizance fleet. They recognized his teachings as tech heresy. Many tech priests suddenly vanished or were subjected to servo penance for minor transgressions. The students of Amarnat, whose number included many enlightened and respected brothers, resisted. My prognosis showed that our most likely future was a schism and a fratricidal war that would destroy the Cognizance fleet. That was when I headed to the conclave.
Okay. So they treated this as not just a minor difference of opinion, but actual tech heresy that was leading to a fracture and schism, and took strong force to try and stop this schism and remove those who believed in that viewpoint. So this is a big deal, not just a difference of opinion.
I confessed and handed the information about my mentor's research over to the conclave. Brazen, anathematic studies of the forbidden law. The conclave could use that data to summon Archmagus Amarnat to stand trial and compel him to repent on pain of excommunicate traitoris. His subsequent fate is unknown to me.
It's rather callous of you. I guess you have a heart of metal. No, I disagree with that. You acted as a loyal son of the Imperium should. I don't think I have time. We'll be able to trust you now, traitor. No. You act as a loyal son of the Imperium should. In this viewpoint, when you see someone stepping into heresy, the best thing you can do for them is do whatever it takes to immediately put a halt on it. That way they don't walk further into heresy. Even if you're betraying them, you want them to stay on the side of the God Emperor, or in this case, the Omnissiah, because you don't want them to fall into the sway of chaos. So you acted as a loyal son of the Imperium should.
I
The Vox system emits a painful crunch, like the sound of snapping bone. So why did you go to Rykad Minoris?
I was summoned there by a message that was encrypted with the blessed Amanat's personal code, and could it be interpreted in several ways. One thing was certain: we were in danger, and I had to go to Rykad Minoris.
Huh. And we still don't really know much about why this tech priest Abel called him there. The tech priest named Abel, who is he?
I never met him, but I think he was a person of worth. The phrase that came from his lips indicates he was in contact with my mentor. I preserved his cortical implant and absorbed the information it contained. However, the large amounts of data memories are encoded with a cipher yet unfamiliar to me.
What are you going to do next?
I was wrong when I assumed it was the blessed Archmagus Amanat who assumed the guise of Abel Haneman. But there is a connection between him and the Reverend Abel, and I intend to uncover the nature of this link.
He finally pronounced that Haneman. I'm not going to remember that, but there it is. Haneman is how it's supposed to be pronounced, apparently. I have no more questions.
Acknowledged. I will return to ruminating on the search for the blessed Amanat.
I must take my leave.
May your labors be effective and fruitful.
The Vox synth emits a rattling binaric mantra. And I think that's everyone. We could check out some other compartments, just to see if anything interesting is there to see. Freight line again is for the Death Cult, or Blood Cult, or whatever they are. Their quest line, which I'll get to at some point, but I don't want to just rush down that. There's probably nothing of interest that's new in our quarters, so it'll be a quick check. Yeah, there's various stuff around, but nothing that looks immediately new. Link my account. What is this that we can act on? Oh, we can just play some music. Is there anything new? No. Anything in our vault? My guess is no. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so nothing of note there. We'll go back to the voidship bridge. I guess I didn't go all the way over to, like, the bath area. There probably isn't anything else to see. Let's move along.